It's time for Law in Our Life. We have Hyunjoo here in the studio. She is a lawyer practicing here in the city, and she is a regular guest who helps us understand the intricacies of the Korean legal system. Hello, Hyunjoo.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm trying to survive, and I guess I should say Happy Chuseok.
Yeah. Happy to suck.
Now, what are you going to talk about with us today?
Today I got some requests from expats out there.
Oh,
Some asked me about the information regarding the law about child abuse in Korea and the report obligation of teachers.
right. And of course, that makes sense because so many expats here are teachers.
Right.
And it's a question that we have. I've had that question before,
Oh.
to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, when in my first year teaching, a student came to school with a black eye.
Oh.
And I just kind of made a joke with it because they'd been fighting with another student the day before. So I said, "Oh, were you fighting with that student?" He said, "No, it was from my mother." And I said, "Oh, why?" And he said he had a bad test score. And he said it in like a very normal kind of way, almost a sort of like almost happily. Like just to explain this, like it's a normal sort of family situation. And I was pretty shocked.
Yeah.
And I asked one of the other teachers if we should do anything about that. And I was told, no, that's like a pretty normal family thing.
Not anymore.
Not anymore,
No.
right. And this was 15 years ago.
Okay.
And I know there's been some changes. So I'm happy to hear this. Now, why don't you tell us about the law?
According to the law's name is Act on Special Cases Concerning the Punishment, etc. of Child Abuse Crimes. Anyone who becomes aware of or suspects a crime of child abuse may report to a specialized child protection agency or investigative agency. The child protection agency is often called 아동보호기관. You as a teacher can call at 112 just like any other crime reports.
All right. Now, I noticed that you said may report.
Yeah, it's
And you said can call.
Yeah, but there are people who are responsible for such reports to prevent the child abuse.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
What kind of people?
Not only the people who works in child welfare sector, domestic violence center, or social welfare sector, the teachers and lecturers at kindergarten, doctors or nurses, teachers at school, teachers at hagwon, or babysitters are all required to report such crime.
There we go. Required to report. Okay, that's good.
Yep.
What happens if they don't?
The people who fail to report without good cause will be punished by an administrative fine not exceeding 5 million won.
All right.
The identity of the reporter will not be disclosed, and the violation of such confidentiality will be subject to criminal punishment as well.
Okay, so I don't have to worry if I do make a report that my name is going to get revealed to the family or anything like that. All right, well that's good to hear. Now you said without good cause. I don't know what would constitute a good cause to not report child abuse.
The good cause would be more like there is some reason that he didn't know, like he couldn't learn about that situation, even though he's like the main teacher of the child, something like that.
Okay.
Or like he thought like there was somebody else who reported it already, something like that.
All right. Okay. So it's a matter of you didn't report. Why didn't you? And it's because, well, I didn't think there was abuse.
Yeah.
Not that you thought there was abuse, but just didn't want to deal with it.
No.
Okay. Well, that's better. Now I understand you have a story to tell us about here, and I should just warn our listeners that this is a bit graphic.
Yeah. In 2013, in Ulsan, the stepmother committed child abuse and killed a child. The teacher found that the girl had wounds on her body and did not eat well, so the teacher reported to the Child Protection Agency, and the agency contacted the biological father who was living with the stepmother and the girl. However, such report did not prevent the crime. The stepmother suspected that the child took 2001 and was lying about it. So she punched the child's head and chest with her fist and foot more than 10 times and broke her rib bones and tried to cover up the bruises by putting her in the hot tub. The girl died in the bathtub on the day that she was going to going out with her friends at school due to inner bleeding and respiratory issues. The mother was sentenced 18 years in prison for murder, and the father was accused of neglecting the child abuse and spent 4 years at prison.
I see. That's horrifying.
Yeah, in this case, for the first time, the government declared that they will impose administrative fines on the teachers who did not report it timely and will prevent such tragedies. However, after the investigation, they concluded that it's not clean-cut to say that the teacher had been aware of such ongoing child abuse at home. So no teachers were imposed with administrative fines back then.
Well, you said that the teacher had reported it to the Child Protection Agency.
But they thought there were like other teachers, maybe at Hagwon or like in other like classes.
That should have known.
Yeah.
Okay. And like, I mean, it says the agency contacted the father.
Yeah.
Like that blows my mind that like, where are the police in the story? Like, the police should be interviewing the girl, right?
They I deal with this kind of situations, and both police and the agency work together.
Okay.
So for the counseling part, usually the agency staff will get involved, and for the like criminal investigation part, the police will be in charge.
All right. I find it very upsetting. When I lived back in Canada, I had a job. I worked with children in the foster care of the government. And they've been removed from their homes, from their own families, or from other foster care because of abuse. And it really infuriates me when I see what I perceive as a blind eye by authorities that this stuff goes on. And I think it's a bit of a problem here. But as you said, the law's been changing and the perceptions are changing.
Yeah.
So what kind of responsibilities are there?
The teachers at Hagwon is responsible for reporting child abuse crime if they find the suspicious incidents. The suspicious incidents include the physical abuse, such as there are some bruise or wounds, and it doesn't make sense to see that it's by accident. Or when you ask what happened to the child's explanation is not coherent. The emotional abuse includes verbal abuse by parents, bullying in the family, like comparing their children and kicking the child out of the house. To get the ideas of sexual abuse, please watch out the inappropriate sexual behavior of the child, considering the young age of the child or his or her knowledge about the sex. Lastly, negligence would be not offering the basic food or shelter for living to the child, or not offering medical service, and placing the child in unsanitary environment.
All right. So yeah, those are all things that a teacher should be able to watch for and should be able to notice.
Right. The English teacher should also self-monitor what they teach at Hagwon or school. In last January, an English teacher in Sejong was arrested for violation of Child Welfare Act, as she showed the cruel videos to kindergartners during class at Hagwon.
Really?
Yeah, the video was about cannibalism.
Wow.
Yeah, the practice of eating the flesh of human.
Yeah, people eating people.
Yeah.
Okay.
The parents became aware of such child abuse incidents as the kids began to say that I'll eat the doll after boiling it when they are playing at home.
Okay.
The teacher said that she did not intend to inflict any harm to kids, but the parents got upset about her lack of professionalism, and the children were suffering from trauma after watching the video.
Yeah. I don't know why you would possibly think that cannibalism was appropriate for kindergartners. I mean, or I don't know, for any public school teaching at all. I mean, I know cannibalism exists, but I think we'll all learn about it in our own way. Yeah. It doesn't have to happen at school.
Right.
So we can get in trouble for that.
Yeah. Therefore, if you are working as a teacher at Hagwon, please remember your duty as a reporter of child abuse crime, and also be cautious when you're selecting the examples or study materials for your students.
Okay, don't teach kids about cannibalism.
No.
And more importantly, keep an eye out for their health and for mental and physical health, I guess.
Right.
Emotional as well. And yeah, I don't know if kids are told that they can tell teachers about this stuff.
Nowadays, I know there is like educational sessions at school, and they do it very regularly.
Okay.
So when I worked with child victims, I found that some of them already like remember the number like 112 already,
Okay.
and they knew what they have to tell to the police.
All right.
So yeah, I think everything has changed since like for last 10 years.
Okay.
Very much.
All right, I'm glad to hear that. Well, thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah, you can find this segment in video and my YouTube channel. You can find me by searching Korean Law 101 on YouTube.
Well, thanks for putting it up. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.